George Russell came into 2026 as the clear favorite. Mercedes car, young teammate, title written in pencil with his name on it.
4 races later, that pencil has been rubbed out. Antonelli has won 3 in a row. Russell has lost 4 consecutive qualifying sessions to his own teammate.
And Canada, the circuit Russell calls one of his best, is now the race that decides whether he is still a title contender or just the second driver at Mercedes.
Section 1. How we got here. Let's get right into the 2026 season so far. The 2026 season has already delivered a massive momentum shift. Russell started out strong. He won the season opener in Australia, right from pole position. Then he followed that up by taking the sprint race in China. He looked every bit the season team leader. But then, Antonelli responded. The 19-year-old won the main Grand Prix of China. Then he won in Japan. Then he took pole and won in Miami. 3 main Grand Prix victories in a row. Guys, this is historic. Antonelli is now only the 3rd driver in Formula One history to take his first 3 F1 poles consecutively. The only other 2, Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher. That is some seriously elite company.
So, the qualifying head-to-head dynamic is really where this battle is being won and lost. For casual fans, qualifying is basically the ultimate test of pure speed. It's the battle on Saturday to set the starting grid. Securing pole position dictates your track position, and it gives you clean air. Clean air means your car performs perfectly and your tires last longer. It dictates the overall race strategy for your side of the garage. Losing qualifying 4 times in a row to your teammate is absolutely devastating. It means they control the race weekend before the lights even go out on Sunday. They get the optimal strategy, you get whatever's left.
The shift we're seeing is absolute. 21-3. That was the final qualifying score between these 2 drivers back in 2025. Russell completely dominated Antonelli over a single lap last year. I mean, he beat him 21 times. Fast forward to 2026, and the story is entirely different. Russell hasn't led a Mercedes qualifying session since the opening 2 rounds. It's a total reversal of form. This sudden shift is quickly becoming the biggest story in the paddock. The Italian newspaper Gazzetta dello Sport recently noted this change. They stated that Russell's 4 consecutive qualifying defeats are, quote, starting to weigh heavily. Formula One is a deeply mental sport, right? When a driver of Russell's caliber gets consistently outperformed on a Saturday by a younger teammate, the psychological impact literally cannot be ignored. The pressure is building internally.
So, has the damage already been done to Russell's campaign? Can the British driver reset his mindset? Or is this early run of defeats just too much to overcome against a driver finding this kind of explosive form?
Section 2. The Bonington factor. Let's talk about the race engineer.
Out on the track, it's never just driver against driver. It is side of the garage against side of the garage. For those new to the sport, the race engineer is that crucial voice in the driver's ear. They are communicating constantly at 200 miles per hour. They manage the complex tire strategy. They feed the driver data. They make the split-second calls that win or lose Grand Prix. Basically, they are the ultimate safety net.
And here is where the dynamic gets incredibly fascinating. Antonelli has Peter Bono Bonington as his race engineer. This is the exact same engineer who guided Lewis Hamilton to 6 of his world championships at Mercedes. Bono has been through intense title fights. He knows exactly how to handle the pressure. Russell, on the other hand, is working with a brand new race engineer in 2026, since his previous engineer, Riccardo Adami, moved to Ferrari. So it's the exact same Mercedes team, but one driver has the most experienced championship-winning engineer in the paddock in his ear, the other is building a brand new relationship from scratch. Those are just the facts of the garage environment.
So we have to ask, does the Bonington partnership give Antonelli an unbeatable edge? How much of Antonelli's calmness under pressure over this 3-race winning streak actually comes down to having Bono on the radio?
Subscribe to PitCrew TV, where the data meets the drama. Canada GP and the Mercedes title fight. It's all coming.
Section 3. What Canada actually means. We are at a definitive crossroads.
The upcoming race in Montreal isn't just another weekend on the calendar. Listen to this confirmed quote from Sky Sports F1 lead commentator David Croft. If George doesn't beat Kimi with Mercedes upgrades coming on a track he regards as one of his best, then the alarm bells really start to ring for me. The external pressure is mounting rapidly. Everyone expects Montreal to be the absolute flashpoint.
Now, neither driver is unfamiliar with the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Just look at the data from the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix. George Russell won the race. He was phenomenal. But right behind the leaders, Kimi Antonelli finished 3rd. That was Antonelli's debut Formula One podium.
Both drivers have a proven track record of finding extreme pace at this venue.
The stakes for this specific weekend are astronomical. First off, Mercedes is bringing their biggest upgrade package of the 2026 season. The car is literally going to change physically. Second, former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya noted on the BBC Checkered Flag that beating Russell at his best track would shift the momentum permanently in Antonelli's favor for the rest of the season. And former F1 boss Bernie Ecclestone recently told the Swiss newspaper Blick, quote, "Antonelli holds the momentum to extend his lead over Russell." Now that's Ecclestone's opinion, but it shows the massive narrative building around this race.
Montreal is a track that punishes mistakes instantly. It's home to the infamous Wall of Champions. For the casual viewer, this is the unforgiving concrete barrier on the exit of the final chicane. It earned its name because it has famously caught out and crashed multiple world champions: Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill, Jacques Villeneuve, all victims to the wall. It demands absolute precision under the highest possible pressure. One lockup, one gust of wind, and your race is completely over. With the championship lead on the line and massive upgrades on the car, who's going to crack under the pressure at the Wall of Champions? Who steps up and who backs down?
Section 4. The technical why. Let's break down Russell's deficit.
We've talked about the momentum and the pressure. Now let's look at the raw data to understand exactly where the time is being won and lost. 0.054 seconds. That is Kimi Antonelli's average qualifying delta over George Russell in 2026. It's an incredibly tiny number, less than a tenth of a second, but it is absolutely decisive.
Why does this tiny fraction matter so much? Well, think about it. 0.054 seconds across a blistering 70-second lap. It means Antonelli isn't just better in one specific corner. It means there's a consistent microscopic margin being found across every single microsector of the track. Everywhere. Russell's core strength has always been his racecraft. He excels at tire management. He maintains consistency. He masters strategic positioning over a full race distance. But right now, Antonelli is extracting just a fraction more peak grip on a single flying lap. This brings us to the ultimate technical question, and the massive Mercedes upgrade package at Canada will provide the answer. Is Russell's qualifying gap purely a car setup issue? Is the current spec of the car simply not suiting his driving style? Or is this a fundamental driver performance issue where Antonelli is simply faster? The data in Montreal will present the facts clearly. Both possibilities are equally valid right now, but the stopwatch in Canada will not lie.
Canada is 10 days away. Russell needs a commanding performance at one of his best circuits, against a teammate on a 3-win streak with the best race engineer in the paddock. Do you think Russell wins Canada and gets back into this title fight, or has Antonelli already taken control? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want F1 content that gets straight to the point, subscribe to PitCrew TV. The 2026 season continues now,